Hello, everyone. My name is Dmitry, and I'm really glad to be here today. I've been contributing to Lido for a few years now, and today I want to share with you something that was a massive part of this time. But this is the community staking module, or CSM as we call it. But that's the thing is, it's not what it exists today, but I will talk about what is coming next. So for those of you who might not know, CSM was launched in October 2024 with simple goal in mind to make Ethereum staking more accessible. So instead of needing of 32 ETH, you just need to bring 1.5 ETH to create your validator. And the best part of it is that you're not sacrificing on rewards, and you actually was getting probably the highest rewards on the market. So CSM V1 was a massive success, and our team is really proud of it. The question is, why CSM V2? And the answer is that it was known from where it started that the single model cannot serve for everyone. And actually, we need to develop a more granular system that will cater to different types of stakers. So the goal is to create a truly sustainable home staking model and to recognize and reward contributions of individual stakers. So I'm really proud to announce that the expected go-live date of CSM V2 is October 3rd of 2025. And it definitely worth the wait because of the features we just will be talking about today. So first of all, what does this more granular system actually means? Since CSM V2, there are three officially recognized type of stakers. First of all, identified community stakers. These are the backbone of decentralization. These are the home stakers, community stakers. Then legacy early adopters. These are the operators that joined CSM V1 during the early adoption period. These operators have proven their commitment, and they will retain their special status and will have a beneficial bond requirement similar to the identified community stakers. And finally, the permissionless operators. They have been the default category since CSM V1, and basically everyone can join the CSM without any special requirements. And in this way, the system ensures that it remains open and accessible to everyone. And the system was designed in the way that it will support professional operators, even though they're not a part of the CSM V2 launch, because the main focus remains on the identified community stakers. The system is flexible enough to accommodate professional operators as well. And that's why you will be able to hear more about professional operator solutions later this year at DevConnect. So, how to actually provide the differentiated treatment to different operator types? And the answer is the Our Parameters Registry system. You can think of it as a control panel with different parameters that you can set for each operator types. So this is about different rules, thresholds, rewards, etc. And this means that the experience can be customized based on operator type and what it actually brings to the network. So let me walk you through the exact parameters we were introducing in CSM V2. First of all, this is performance-related parameters such as thresholds and leeways, then economic ones such as reward shares and penalties, and then operational. This is related to priority queues and strikes. We'll talk about it momentarily. And finally, security parameters. This is about bond requirements and the ejections thresholds. So first of all, about probably the most important one parameter, this is about performance coefficients. So in CSM V1, a performance of a validator was just a relation of the attestations assigned to attestations included to attestations assigned. So this is pretty straightforward. But in CSM V2, we now account for all of three duties of a validator. So attestations, block proposals, and sync committee participations. all of this is all of them accounted to determine the performance, and all of these duty have a defined weight, and by default it reflects the consensus layer reward structure. So attestations carry the most weight, followed by block proposals, and finally sync committees. And it can be customized per operator types. And it means that identified community stakers can have more lenient coefficients for example, for block proposals and sync committee participations to better reflect the reality of home staker setups. Okay, building on these performance coefficients, let's talk about performance leeway. Performance leeway is measured relative to the network average performance. So identified community stakers will have a 5% buffer, so they can go 5% lower than network average performance and still get the full rewards. It is applicable for the first 150 validators, but it's reasonable to assume that community stakers will fit into this threshold anyway. And for permissions operators, it's just a 3% buffer, and it accounts for the fact that professional operators, otherwise, community stakers operators don't face the same issues as professional operators do. So, for example, internet outages, equipment restarts, and other connectivity issues. Okay, let's move on to the economic parameters. That's where the differentiated treatment comes in again. So identified community stakers will get up to 6% of the total allocated staking rewards for their first 16 validators. So it creates the direct incentive to be identified as a community stakers. And the rest, like permissionless operators, will get a flat reward share across all of their validators. Okay, with all of these benefits, we actually need for some kind of quality control mechanism. And that's why CSM2 introduces the automated strike system to maintain network quality while being fair to operators. So our performance oracle will constantly monitor the validator's performance and assign strikes to them whenever they fall the acceptable thresholds. The question is, what actually triggers the strike? And the answer is the persistent poor performance. The keyword here is persistent, meaning that the small hiccups won't be penalized, and instead, system look for patterns of consistent underperformance. And that's exactly why strikes have lifetime. So strikes will accumulate, and eventually they will expire after several oracle frames. On mainnet is supposed to be 6 months, and it means that past issues don't haunt you forever. I have my personal experience with it. So I'm running a validator in CSM V1, and I was traveling, and basically on day 2, I realized that my validator stopped working. I was trying to connect to it remotely, and basically nothing. So I have no idea what is going on. And it's in CSM V2, actually, I will get a strike, and it will record it. But the best part of it that after 6 months, it will expire, and this bad week won't stick for me forever, and I will be able to correct the issue. Okay, so this is about strikes thresholds. So this parameter defines how many strikes a validator may accumulate before it's being ejected from the protocol. So the system works automatically, and when your validator reaches the threshold, the permissionless method on the smart contract is being triggered, and your validator is being ejected. So that's easy. And the best part of it, as for most of the parameters, that identified community stakers will get more leeway, so they will be able to take more strikes and still keep their validator in the protocol. Okay, now let's talk about how to actually get into the system. So there are 2 different ways, and entry gates and extensions, and they work quite different. First of all, entry gates they are quite straightforward. They work as a simple ID checker. So they verify your credentials, assign you specific operator types, let's say identified community staker, and then you can interact with CSM directly without any other smart contract. So you just claim your specific operator type, and that's it. So it is pretty straightforward. Extensions, in turn, are full proxy system. So I was at like this darkness because my analogy here, this was like you calling your broker and saying, I want to buy a pile of stocks or something like this, and they do the job for you. So the extensions, in fact, all the interaction with CSM actually goes through the extension itself. And in this way, an extension can implement some kind of internal logic. For example, they can implement native DVT cluster support or specialized reward sharing, etc. So this is much more complicated compared to the gates. Okay, let's now talk a little bit about emergency situations. CSM v2 introduces support of EAP 702. This is about execution layer triggerable exits. So, and this is a crucial recovery mechanism for home stakers. Whenever you get lost access to your validator, let's say you have a corrupted private keys or you just logged out of your setup, you still will be able to exit your validator by interacting with the CSM contract directly. And UI will just expose a simple emergency recovery button that you will be able to use. Even though it comes with a fee, it's still a crucial safety net for your validator. So it means that you won't be permanently stuck with running validator you can't control. And the same EAP 702 is used by the protocol for their own security means. So first of all, validators can be triggered for exit if they underperform for quite some time. So as I described before, when a validator accumulates enough strikes, so it has to be ejected from the system. And the second one, when there are validators that have to be exited because of withdrawal demand to meet protocol obligations, when the operators can't or don't want to act by themselves. So the protocol in this way can control validators that inside of the module. And let's talk about priority queues. This is the thing where the differential treatments really shows, because identified community stakers will be able to get their validators activated faster, and that's how it works. So every operator types will get a predefined priority level, and when the protocol will need to deposit ETH to create new validators, it will process the queue in order, starting from the highest priority first. And in this case, identified community stakers will be able to get validator slots basically before the others, like permissionless ones. To put it into perspective, like in CSM v1, when it went fully permissionless, big node operators just flooded in the system. So there were operators uploading like 200 keys, and small home stakers were squeezed out of it. And I was watching like someone just stuck behind a large operator with 200 keys uploaded. And CSM v2 actually changed this. So now identified community stakers will have 10 priority slots that will be deposited before all of these large permissionless professional operators. And this is, I guess, one of the most important things that ICS brings to stakers. Okay, let's talk about like the all benefits that ICS brings. First of all, identified community stakers will get increased rewards that designed to cover hardware cost within a year. So a staker with 16 validators can get like this increased rewards as high as 0.4 ETH per year. So I guess it's kind of enough for covering, I don't know, electricity bills, internet bills, etc. And of course, it is still probably the lowest bond requirements on the market. So to create your first validator, you just need 1.5 ETH, and for the consequent ones, it will take only 1.3. And of course, the priority queue that I was just describing. So it means that identified community stakers will get deposit first, at least for their first 10 validators, but I guess it's really good one. Okay, now you may be wondering, how do you actually get identified as a community staker? And this is about identified community staker framework. And the best part of it is that it is secure, transparent, and it does not require like some kind of KYC. If you don't want it, you can omit it. We do understand that privacy is like paramount, and this system is designed in the way that it respects it. The framework is built on 3 core pillars. First of all, it is a proof of engagement. The system checks your participations in governance, open source projects, etc. The goal here is to identify active members of communities that are really committed to the success of Ethereum and Lido. Then proof of experience. So that's about have you been running a validator before? Have you been participating in testnets, etc.? So your experience in staking. And finally, probably the most important one is it's a proof of humanity. So the goal here is to prove that you are actually a unique living person and that you are not trying to create some kind of a hive to just implement some kind of the Sybil attack or something like this. So yeah, these 3 core pillars, and the ICF framework is live, so you can go to, I believe, to the CSM webpage and send your applications to be identified as a community staker. So let's wrap it up. We're really proud with our job, and we think that CSM v2 will help to make Ethereum even more secure and decentralized. So as a team, we believe that it will help to significantly increase the number of independent operators with these new beneficial terms for stakers. We think that over 10% of Lido will be eventually controlled by community stakers. Yes, this is kind of bold statement, but still we believe that it's achievable. And that the total number of Lido node operators will surpass 1,000, and it will even more diversify the node operator set in Lido. And finally, that Ethereum staking will become a common hobby for everyone. And the last one slide, probably, that we're not stopping on it, and we are currently thinking about CSM v3 and the future features that we can bring in there. And we are thinking about compounding validators and support of increased max effective balance. It will probably significantly increase rewards for larger operators, larger validators. Yeah. So we're also thinking about enhanced professional operators features. So as I said, more about it later this year. And maybe on the data from the CSM v2, we'll decide to add more operator types to like better serve the system. And that's it. Thank you.
Do we have any questions this time?
Hi, thanks. Great talk. You mentioned that the strike-based ejection is permissionless. Is this also the Oracle data required for that permissionless? Like some proof
Yes.
on the state, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So the Oracle will bring just a tree with leaves that says this node operator, this validator has these strikes, and you just have to generate a proof that this leaf was included in the tree, and the dedicated conduct just will accept it. And if it accepts it, it triggers the ejections. So you're right. That's exactly how it works.
Thanks.
Sure.
Do we have more questions? Good.
Cool.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure hosting you here.